You know you're in for a treat when a YouTuber starts a video off with the disclaimer. The hard and simple truth is that the video you're currently watching only exists because the video I'd hoped to release in its place has encountered something of a logistical snag. So in its stead, I present you with what you could best call a prelude to, hopefully, an entirely new and fertile mineshaft of exploratory potential, analogous in form, if not in scope, to the Mech Tech, Mech Design, or Project Outlander series. In essence, I figured I'd try giving superhumans a similar treatment to that I'd given biomimetic war machines. And given that this topic has been a casual pet project of mine since seeing the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies as a kid, I figured it'd be a simple mail-order, blue milk run of a job. But upon further review, I'd woefully underestimated the complexity of, or perhaps severely overestimated my capacity for the cosmographical twilight zone that is the spectra of organic chemistry. So, a quick warning whilst I once again flash my "I'm not an expert" button up on screen. Do not take anything I'm about to say as gospel. I'm about as fluent on this subject as my cat is with the usage of kitchen utensils. Mine is purely the work of elementary speculative fan fiction, nothing more. And with that said, one other thing I'd like to explain before I get into the meat and bones of how to go about getting yourself a custom Space Marine overhaul is why I use the term Supermans in the title instead of Super Soldier. Apart from my having already made an introductory commentary on the subject of G.I. Joes, to be brutally honest, I don't want to create an army of brain-dead war drones so the rich and powerful can have yet another way to stomp all over the plebs, but to evolve humanity at large to a heightened state of existence, which I believe is the core principle belying both the Nietzschean and the pop-cultural icon of the Superman itself. Now, as this video is intended as a general overview of this extremely broad topic only, and as it's not physically possible for me to cover every possible variety of enhancement or augmentation in one lifetime, let alone in a single video, I'm going to distill them down into broad families according to their general uses and functionalities. As you can see, according to my own elementary logic, there are 8. Performance, perception, integration, infiltration, adaptation, survival, support, and accessory. All of which can be further distilled into one of 3 typographical boxes. Enhancements, which increase a subject's normal attributes beyond the normal human range, super speed, strength, stamina, reflexes, etc. Augmentations, which provide normal abilities or attributes additional range of function, X-ray vision, electroreception, echolocation, etc. And superpowers, which imbue a subject with wholly novel abilities or attributes, fire breath, water breathing, wall crawling, venom production, etc. As usual, you can just pause and read the on-screen chart at your own discretion, or go on over to X, download it, and view it later on at your leisure. But if you'd rather not blur the lines of our parasocial relationship any further, starting us off down the biomechanical tech tree, performance boosters are any organic, synthetic, or chemical methods that work to enhance a specimen's overall strength, speed, and/or endurance. Mainly musculoskeletal augments, things such as myostatin injections, genetic editing techniques, cybernetic implants or artificial limbs, and so on and so forth. However, such augments would be worse than useless if the person's skeleton couldn't support the superhuman forces their new powered portions were generating. Thus, such athletic augments would, and to sci-fi's credit often do, necessarily come part and parcel with a suite of osteo, membrane, and connective tissue enhancements, most often featuring ceramic or metallic injections, substitutions, or coatings, though it can also involve full-on skeletal replacements. This is almost always carried out as part of a total cybernetic reconstruction, such as in the cases of Metal Gear's Raiden or Star Wars' General Grievous. Now, it is when discussing the category of superpowers in any even semi-realistic context that we'll encounter the final form of Thomas Sowell's immortal line, "There are no solutions, only trade-offs." Changing a land-dwelling creature to be just as agile in the water, in trees, or in the air as they are on level plains, though eminently doable, is somewhat tricky as it involves fundamentally reworking our overall body structure. A grasping tail could be added through a simple suppression of the embryonic sequence which disallows it to grow to maturity. However, changing out lungs for gills, grafting on wings, restructuring the legs for superior leverage while running and jumping, adding claws, etc., will all necessitate substantial modification to a body's existing framework, Not to mention, each would require a plethora of supporting augmentations in order to give the desired effects, which is an entirely separate worm barrel all its own. However, the acuity of our visual, audio, olfactory, and tactile organs can all be fairly straightforwardly enhanced. Note, I did not say easy, I said simply, there's a difference, by way of increasing their number and density of sensory nerves, with the sole exception of the eye, where the size, shape, and distance of the collector, retina from the focal lens, pupil, and the number and density of photosensitive cells, rods and cones, are the crucial factors in producing keener eyesight. Penultimately, we come to the most important, and yet generally the most underappreciated categories of augmentations: support and survival. To be frank, the titles for these camps more or less speak for themselves, but as this is an audible as well as a visual medium, I'll just ever so briefly elaborate. As you'd predict, support either enable or maintain the functionality of other, more standard augmentations. Things such as strengthening bones and ligaments to better withstand the forces of amplified muscle fibers, hardening nerves and neural fibers to better cope with the higher stimulus loads incurred by an enhanced cognitive platform, or something as simple as adding buffer pads to the soles of the feet so as to reduce wear and tear on the bones during superhuman marathon sprints. And last, we come to the most vital section, for without exotic features such as advanced airway, waist and digestive filters, etc., our Superman would be dead within moments of first setting foot on an alien world. As adroitly stated by Casual Geographic, the rule of nature is that when you can eat anything, you can live anywhere. Again, the benefits of being able to ingest toxic or corrosive chemicals without issue, shrug off disease or poison, weather inclement elements, and tank abnormal levels of physical punishment should all be fairly self-explanatory. A superhuman is, by definition, the ultimate life form, possessing all the strengths of the dominant animal on Earth, while also efficiently mitigating, compensating for, or outright eliminating our various limitations and weaknesses. And that about wraps this thing up in a bow, I think. There's plenty more to this topic, obviously. If I wanted, I could very easily stretch this video out another 3 to 4 hours at least. But I don't want to do that, so I'll leave the rest up to your, or my own, future dissection and conversation down in the comments. And if you like this sort of subject matter and feel my channel does a decent enough job at presenting it, possibly consider leaving me a tip, becoming a channel member, or clicking over to Amazon and checking out some of my books while you're down there. But in any event, until next time, stay safe, stay sane, and remember, you can never think too much. You can only think badly. Peace be upon you.